Good evening, 49er fans, and welcome to the reasonable, understated post-game show, as opposed to what you're probably hearing across the Bay Area right now, which is a bunch of that you're probably hearing a lot of that. And those people have a point because, I hadn't really considered the point of because I was going to come on and say some other stuff, like kind of like analyze the game and try to talk about why exactly the 49ers lost this one. But I think most people just want to go on the air and go, so you guys don't come to me for that. You come to me for other stuff, which is more of like a measured breakdown of the game. That's what I'm going to give you. I understand that Niner fans are extremely upset with Nick Mullins right now, and it's not Nick's fault. It's my fault. I mean, no undrafted free agent backup quarterback should ever take this much flack. When people say they hate Nick Mullins or that Nick Mullins stinks or that he's not good enough, I mean, we all know that. He's a backup quarterback. When they get all angry about it, it's that they hate me, not Nick, because I'm the one who said, actually, he's not bad. Actually, he's pretty good. So when people say, hey, Nick Mullins isn't good enough, when people get all worked up about it, it's a passive-aggressive way of taking shots at me. And the thing is, I'm so good at my job, and everyone loves me. You guys love me. I love me, and I love you, that people don't feel comfortable taking a straight-up direct shot at me, at least right now. Maybe next week they'll feel comfortable. But right now, you got to go incognito. You got to go stealth. We got to go passive-aggressive, and Nick Mullins is the he lets them do it. They do it through him. Nick, it's my fault. I'm really sorry. People don't hate you. They hate me. That's the way it is. And I backed you. So all I'm saying is I understand the Nick hate. It's really Grant hate, and I'll take it. I will take that. Also, I predicted this. You guys thought the Niners were going to win this game. I said, no, they're going to lose. They're going to find a way to lose. It's going to be a group effort, including the quarterback. He's going to have his hand in it. But after the game, everyone's going to blame the quarterback, who I have basically renamed Goodwill Hunting. He is the janitor of the 49ers. He was hanging around Levi's. He was mopping up one of the corridors, and he saw the game plan on a blackboard and said, actually, I would go here against cover 3, against cover 4. I would check it down here. And he had such a better handle of the X's and O's than the $27 million a year quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, that gave him a place on the team. He's Goodwill Hunting. That doesn't mean he's good at football. It just means that he's way better at the X's and O's stuff than Jimmy. And he got on the field. And when he wasn't good enough, everyone's like, who is this janitor on the field? Can we get him off, please? Fair. But when critiquing a multi-billion-dollar organization, I think it's appropriate to go beyond the janitorial level. A janitor is important. Hygiene, cleanliness, it's all good stuff. But I really don't think the master of custodial services is going to make or break what the Niners do next year. Let's look bigger. I'm going to get to Nick Mullins. I know you guys all came here to hear what I have to say about Nick Mullins, and I'm going to talk about Nick Mullins a whole lot. But first, I'm going to talk about Kyle Shanahan's culpability in this loss. We got a couple of questions. Put some respect on CJ Rogers' name. Grant, listen, we love how you criticize players. We don't like how you critique Nick different than everyone else. Okay, Adrian, I hear you guys, and I'm going to critique Nick Mullins in depth. But first, I'm going to save that because I know you want to hear it. Make you wait. First, I want to talk about Kyle Shanahan because, again, we're trying to talk about what's cogent and relevant. That's not Nick Mullins anymore. He was a cool story. His story's over. He's got an elbow injury. We're going to talk about him more. But Kyle Shanahan is the head coach of this team. He's not going anywhere. He's 28-34 as a head coach. 28-34. When they lose the next two games, they're going to be 28-36, meaning he's going to be 8 games under 500, 4 years in. For him to get to 500 next year, he'll have to go 12-4 just to get to 500. This is a 4-year trend. You can't keep making excuses for this man and saying, well, injuries. Injuries for half a decade. Well, backup quarterback. He picked these quarterbacks. The starter, the backup, the third string guy, the offensive line. This is his creation. This is what he wanted. And he's culpable in this loss today. It's really easy to say quarterback lost the game. But again, that takes zero football acumen to say that. Let's do some real analysis. I know you guys like me for a lot of reasons, and one of them is how, I make fun of myself and how I can be snarky and stuff. But I think the main reason you guys like me is that's like the sprinkles on top. I actually provide analysis, and it's pretty good. So let's give it a shot, all right? Kyle Shanahan, you're going to be here next year. We gotta actually critique you. Are you doing your job correctly? I always consider him the best play designer in the world. I say he's the best. I say he's not the greatest play caller all the time, not the best game manager, not the best quarterback developer, but designing plays, there's no one better. Well, today, I can't say that because both picks were the same problem. I'll explain, and then Jack Hammer and I will go through it in the All-22 coaches film later in the week and show it to you in case you don't think I'm telling the truth. First play, the throw is 3rd and 6. Mullins is throwing to Jordan Reed, running a corner route, and he's open. He beats his man. But there's a safety lurking who intercepts the pass. You say, well, Nick Mullins should have seen that and not thrown the ball. Sure. The best case scenario on that play should have been a sack, I guess. Don't throw the ball, take the sack. So yeah, let's critique Goodwill Hunting for not taking the sack on that play and following the design of the play. Or let's critique the play designer, the guy who's supposed to be the best play designer in the world. What I couldn't help but notice was there's a safety sitting right there covering no one, which allows him to sit in one spot, read Nick Mullins' eyes, and break early on the pass, which was, as Kyle Shanahan admitted, thrown to the right spot. The read was correct. The design of the play was not ideal. All Shanahan had to do was send a wide receiver at that safety. Send a wide receiver deep. The safety has to cover someone instead of not covering anyone. And then he can't intercept that pass. Easy. That's why they have clear out routes. That's what clear out routes are for. So sure, Nick Mullins, you could have been a superstar there, seen the error in Kyle Shanahan's play design, tucked the ball down, made 3 guys miss in the pocket, scramble around, throw downfield, and been great. That's what Josh Allen would have done. What is your problem for not being Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? I'm tired of all this terrible quarterback play. Nick, you need to be way better. I need you to play like Josh Allen right now. Or I've lost patience. Or you just design the play correctly and send a clear out route at the safety so we can't do that. Okay, so that's the first pick. And that only cost the Niners 3 points. The second pick, Shanahan wouldn't take responsibility for that one. He says that one's on Nick. Same thing, though. First of all, the way I remember it was an RPO. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He's reading the conflicted defender, which is a linebacker underneath. Ayuk on a slant, reads the play correctly. The conflicted defender plays the run. Mullins pulls the ball away from the running back, throws to Ayuk, who's open, correct read. But again, safety, backside of the play, covering no one, not being occupied by a receiver running any type of route, jumps the route, interception. To me, the way I understand how RPOs are taught, coached, ran, the quarterback is reading one player, the conflicted defender, the linebacker. If he plays the run, you throw. If he plays the throw, you hand off. Nick Mullins read the play correctly. He's not reading the backside safety. That's not how RPOs are taught, executed, none of it. That backside safety needs to be occupied by the design of the play. Kyle, you're better than that. So is this going to carry over to next season, or are these just 2 bad play designs? Probably just 2 bad play designs. Kyle's really good. I would expect better from him. But what people do is the Niners lose a game and they think, well, Kyle is good. So I'm not going to criticize him at all, even though these 2 plays were not his best. And Nick is bad. So I'm going to blame him 100% for this loss, even though there's nuance and the blame is shared. I'm not taking the blame away from Nick. He really shouldn't have thrown those passes, I guess. But also, Kyle, Occupy the safety. Didn't your dad teach you that? Your dad taught you that. That's like me, like not using, punctuation in my writing and just using run-on sentences. Like, my dad taught me better than that. My mom taught me better than that. I got 2 writers in the family. I'm sure your mom knows how to occupy the safety better than that. Come on. You guys have both been around Mike Shanahan your whole, come on. So that is Kyle Shanahan's culpability. And then one more thing. On that second pick, beyond the design of the play, and it's nitpicking critiquing his play designs because he's usually great at play designs. The play call, passing on 2nd and 9 with 2:30 left at midfield. Why? Why, Kyle? What about Nick Mullins' performance in this game made you confident about throwing on 2nd and 9 in that situation? What about the offensive line's performance in this game made you confident to throw the ball over the line of scrimmage in that situation? I know I'm asking you to be conservative to the max, and that's not your DNA. You want to be aggressive and show that you're smart. And running on 2nd and 9 just doesn't do it for you, especially when you ran on 1st and 10 and gained only 1 yard. But dude, how can you put that on the backup quarterback who had just done the same thing? You thought he was going to do something different? Why? Can't you take the game out of Nick Mullins' hands? Once this season, you're down 3. You're like 15 yards away from field goal range. Run on 2nd and 9. What's the worst that's going to happen? Not a fumble. Not a turnover. Run on 2nd and 9. You could get to 3rd and 6. You could get to 3rd and 4. You're just trying to get 15 yards. Don't lose it on 2nd and 9. If running up the middle is too conservative, throw a screen. There are so many ways, so many plays you can call that don't involve your backup quarterback throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage. You didn't even trust your starter to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage. Jimmy, you had 8,000 ways to get him to get the ball out of his hands to someone behind the line of scrimmage. Where was that on 2nd and 9? And that's the thing with Kyle. He'll be doing everything right. The up-tempo stuff he called in this game, brilliant. He'll do everything right. And then when the pressure's on, at the end of the game, he'll call one pass in a situation where he should have called a run, lose. And then he'll have an army of people it's not his fault. You can't blame him. He's so good. Yeah, he is so good. He made a mistake. He's like a chess player who moved his piece to the wrong square one time in a game. Still a mistake. Still shouldn't have made that move. Sorry. Bishop to F6 was a mistake. Sorry, Kyle. Do better next time. Let's move on. Let's list all the players who haven't quit on this team yet. Because I think some players have. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I think it's important to list guys who are still playing extremely hard and giving it their all, even though the Niners have lost now, 6 of 7? And the season's basically over. Let's give credit to the people who are putting their bodies on the line and risking injury for a season that's done. And I'm going to name players and feel free to add to the list because I think this is an important list and these guys get credit. I wrote down some names. How about the 2 running backs, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr.? Both of them have high ankle sprains. Both of them are playing on it. Can't say the same about the starting quarterback who makes like 5 times what those two make combined. Those guys come back, and you could say every other carry they tweak their ankle and go back to the sideline and have to walk around and tough it out. And they do. 16 carries for Wilson, 14 carries for Mostert, 13 combined. The Niners wouldn't have competed without that. Those two are still playing hard. They haven't quit on this season. Salute, respect to those two. I got more. Kendrick Bourne had an awful game last season, but he fought to the end. He had an awful game last week. 4 drops, but he fought to the end and was the guy that Mullins was going to with the game on the line. This game, Game's over. Mullen's second pick seals it. It's depressing. Then the defense gives it that 40-yard touchdown run. They give up, basically. C.J. Beathard comes in, plays really well, uncorks a beautiful Hail Mary, and Kendrick Bourne catches it. Respect. Salute. Kendrick Bourne. I was ready to run you out of town last week. I will forever remember how hard you played in this game when a lot of other guys who make a lot more than you didn't, and I'll respect that. And when you leave this offseason and some team gives you a 3-year, $18 million contract, I'm not going to make any jokes and say that, oh, you got overpaid. No, respect. Respect, salute. That was a legendary touchdown catch at the end that basically didn't count, but you did it. A lot of other guys wouldn't have made that catch you did. You always play hard no matter what the game situation is, and I respect that. Kendrick Bourne. Also, Brandon Ayuk. The guy must have broken 800 tackles in this game just to get 73 yards and a touchdown. He plays really hard. Tavarius Moore made a tackle for loss when the game was out of reach. Jimmy Ward laid his body on the line, as he always does. It was really awful to see him concussed. Respect for him. I really respect. He had a great year if he doesn't play again. Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, even Arik Armstead. I'll get to him later, but the guy was great today. He could have continued to do the stuff he'd been doing, but he actually decided to play football today. Great. That was big of him. So I don't know. Anyone else I'm not mentioning? I think those guys deserve big-time credit. Horatio Flores says Daniel Brunskill. Absolutely. Also, Justin School. Never played right guard in his life. Wasn't particularly good today, but played hard. He fought, as opposed to the right tackle who hasn't fought in weeks. Kyle Juszczyk hasn't quit. Nick Mullins hasn't quit. That guy works so hard. He takes such a beating and gets up every time. And he takes the indignities from the fan base, from the media. The guy hasn't quit. He's just not good enough. I like this topic. Anyway. Oh, Ahkello Witherspoon, fighting for his career, was the best cornerback on the Niners today. Hasn't quit. K'Wan Williams hasn't quit. Excellent player. Okay, so now let's get to the players who maybe possibly have quit on this season. And I know this is a serious charge to say someone's quit on the season. But can't we agree that the following players don't really seem like they have much heart left? Xavier, I'm going to get to you in a minute. Or if your name is Xavier or Xavier, I'm going to get to you in a minute. You're probably not French, so I'm going to say Xavier. Xavier Vasquez. I'm going to get to you in a minute. Guys who have quit on this season, or at least it seems like it. Number 25 and number 69. Richard Sherman should not be playing anymore. That guy is so clearly making business decisions and trying to keep himself healthy for free agency. He knows he's not coming back on this team. He said that. He's his own agent. He's not coming back. So instead of slamming on the brakes, changing directions quickly and violently, possibly tearing an Achilles again and breaking up a pass at the sticks, he gives it up. 3rd and 10. Here's a 12-yard pass. I'm not getting beat deep. That's Richard Sherman. And then when it's time for him to tackle someone, which could, break a bone, could hurt, he does the Olay technique, which is I'm in front of you. Oh, now I'm not. That's the business decision. He did it twice in this game. Missed 2 tackles. The second one led to a touchdown. Missed the guy in the flat. The guy scored a touchdown. Richard Sherman, business decision central. The rest of the season, the Niners cornerback should be Emmanuel Mosley, Ahkello Witherspoon, and Jason Verrett. Either move Richard Sherman to safety or sit him down entirely because he's only hurting his defense. He's playing for himself, not for the team. You can't have players like this. It's a team sport. That's enough for Richard Sherman. Any team that signs him next year is crazy. He's done. He's a mirage. And then Mike McGlinchey. Does he look like a guy who's really sold out to play this year? He doesn't fight back. He doesn't lift his hands. He falls on his face. He gets beat around the edge. He gets beat to the inside. He can't block in the run. He can't block in the pass. He'll go 2 drives without making a mistake. The Niners will get something going. Then boom, unsportsmanlike conduct. What did he do? I didn't even see that. You forget about him. It's like, oh, the Niners have something going. Nope. Quarterback hit. Nope. Penalty by 69. And then he has the nerve to like yell at his teammates. So those are two players I don't think are sold out to play anymore. And if they're not sold out to play anymore, get the hell off the field. I maintain that the Niners should bench Mike McGlinchey, move Justin School to right tackle, and play anyone at right guard just to see what Justin School can do there, because I don't think he can be worse than Mike McGlinchey. I really don't. I really don't. Justin School was fine at right guard today, moving to right tackle, see how it goes. McGlinchey he could not be worse than he can't. He can't. How about that play when Mike McGlinchey looked like he almost died? And then it turns out he got the wind knocked out of him. Really glad you're okay, Mike. You had me really worried there for a second. Get him off the field. How does Richie James continuously underperform at returning punts and even turns the ball over on punt return, yet still has a job? Xavier, I'm going to get to that in a minute. We need to talk about Ayuk and special teams. I'm going to get to that. It's a great question. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Thomas Tyler, hold on. I'm getting to you too. Tragic. Mike is Gabe from The Office. Tall, skinny, weak, coddled, entitled, ineffective, overpaid. Dude lives on the ground. Yeah. He's the guy from Tallahassee who says, chow. Chow. That's Mike McGlinchey. Tall, skinny, weak, coddled, entitled, ineffective, overpaid. Chow. Chow, Gabe. Chow, Mike McGlinchey. Good luck next time. What is the next one? Jed needs to go 2014 and blow stuff up. It's getting bad. Okay. Let's stick with Mike McGlinchey. Guys, all I want to say is I've been trying. You guys believe me. I mean, we're on the same page. You watch my show. You watch my film cut-ups. You know that Mike McGlinchey is this bad. I'm not just trying to lie to you. I'm not trying to, I'm not saying I know your eyes show you one thing, but actually he's way worse. I'm just saying watch. Just watch. And there's all these people out there who treat you like you're an idiot. They're like, look, I know you've seen Mike McGlinchey flop all around the field and miss blocks left and right, but you don't know what you're looking at. And Grant's an idiot. And I'm here to tell you that Mike McGlinchey isn't that bad, even though you can see for yourself, you're a moron. And I'm explaining to you that you can't trust your own eyes. I am now your designated football watcher and analyzer for you, and I tell you Mike McGlinchey's good. These guys are lying to you. They're taking you for a fool, and they're trying to promote themselves as football experts when they don't know what they're talking about. So I hope that you saw for yourself today that it's not just an issue of, George Kittle isn't here to help him, or the right guard position is a revolving door. No, this guy is getting manhandled one-on-one, pushed around, thrown. And when he's not getting pushed around, he lunges at people and lands on his face. So I don't really want to pile on Mike McGlinchey because he knows he stinks. I mean, we know that. I'm just trying to point out that there are people who intend to deceive you and tell you he's not that bad. You saw for today. You saw for yourself today. And when those people come to you and be like, hey, you're wrong, you know what you're talking about, Mike's pretty good, tell them, shut the hell up. I'm not an idiot. I can see for myself. Shut the hell up. Leave me alone. I don't need you to tell me what to see and what to think and how to feel about Mike McGlinchey. He is that bad. I mean, let's be specific. He got Nick Mullins' arm hit twice. Twice. The first one led to a fumble. That's bad. The second one led to an elbow injury. That's worse. Now, Niner fans are going to say, screw Nick Mullins. Who cares about his elbow? That's rough. Also, you would care if it were Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence, who you're not going to get. You're going to care about Mike McGlinchey next year when he's getting the young chosen one injured. No one cares about Nick Mullins' elbow or his safety or well-being. Go out there and take your lumps and just feel happy that you're in the NFL. Fair enough. When it's the first round pick next year, you're going to freaking hate Mike McGlinchey. And you're going to be like, man, someone should have been a little bit more forceful about how bad he was and not let us trick ourselves into bringing him back and think he was going to be okay. Well, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. He is that bad. He got one quarterback hurt today. He could get another quarterback hurt next week. And he better not be in a position to get the next quarterback hurt next season, or else the Niners brought this on themselves. They did. Let's move on. Arik Armstead. 8 tackles and 2 sacks. You're a bad man, Arik. You're a bad man. If you did this every week, you would have 32 sacks on the season. But you don't. You do this once a year. And it's like you do this little flash where you're like, I can still play football. I'm still not bad. Don't forget about me. And the thing is, you can. Like, you are one of the biggest disappointments of the season. You, Mike McGlinchey, and Jimmy Garoppolo are the 3 biggest disappointments of the season. But you're actually the best of the 3. You're good. You're just good when you want to be good. And for whatever reason, you don't seem to like need to want to be good all the time. Today, I don't know what it was, man. I don't know what it was, but you showed that you can do it. The difference between you and DeForest Buckner, honestly, is that he always does it. He does what you did today all the time. He doesn't need someone to be like, Arik, today is the day to play football. He always does. You will wake up one day and be like, I think I got it today. I think I'll do it. I think I'll do what they pay me $17 million a year to do. Other days you're like, oh man, someone else gonna have to pick up the slack for me today. So what I want to say is it's commendable that you took time out of your busy schedule to suit it up, fight, and show why the Niners kept you over to DeForest Buckner. And this is why I kind of tread lightly making fun of you. Like, I just go after Mike McGlinchey. Who cares? He stinks. He's not going to prove me wrong. You have the ability to do this. And so I kind of need to choose my words carefully because you can dominate. You just don't want to or choose to. You don't choose to. So I would say, as the director of quality control for the 49ers, you should choose to play like this more often. That's on you. All right. Hold on. Quick question, and then I'll keep going. K'Wan Williams put his body on the line today. He makes the defense a lot better when he's on the field. He deserves to be re-signed, in my honest opinion, underrated. Hey, yeah, man, he does deserve to be signed. The only problem is he's a goner, along with probably Jason Verrett and Kello Witherspoon and all these guys. We're going to go with Robert Saleh. Sorry. That's the way it goes. Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw is one of the more interesting storylines of the season because he's not a good pass rusher. He still has like 1.5 sacks on the season. He doesn't get in the backfield and disrupt the quarterback. And when you draft a defensive lineman in the top 15, I don't care whether he's a D tackle or a D end, you're drafting him because you think he has potential as a pass rusher. He may or may not have potential. Right now, he doesn't have it. But he's a good player. He is a winning player. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's the guy they should have taken at 14, but it's the guy they got. And he's not going to hurt them, even though he's not going to be the guy who has 10 sacks a year. I don't know if he'll ever get 3 sacks in a year, but he finds so many different ways to make a positive impact. And it's not just 1 or 2 plays a game. He'll make a tackle for loss, 1 a game. He's a rock at the goal line. You can't move him. And when he doesn't get to the quarterback, he has awareness. He'll drop back. He'll back down passes. He'll intercept passes. He'll chase plays down the field. He stripped Andy Dalton today, and the play should have been counted as a fumble. I don't understand how that got challenged and still didn't get it. It was ridiculous. It's a great play by Javon Kinlaw. He's a playmaker. He's a winning player and a bad pass rusher. I can't think of any other defensive lineman in the league who fits that description. Good player, hell of an athlete, impact player, bad pass rusher, defensive tackle. I mean, if he keeps making these like strips and intercepting passes and breaking and batting down passes, you could argue he was worth the 14th pick, even if he gets, more than 2 sacks a season. He's a fascinating young man. And to be, if you want to be, positive about his outlook, you could say, Khalil Mack had very few sacks his rookie year. It's okay for a rookie to struggle as a pass rusher. He could improve. The rest of his game is there right now. And if that's the truth, if he comes back next year and has 7 sacks and then comes back the year after that and has 10, well, he started from a low point and improved. So he definitely is a good player. It's fun to watch Javon Kinlaw play. He's an enigma. Brandon Ayuk is way better than Javon Kinlaw. Brandon Ayuk, to me, is the best rookie wide receiver in the league. Better than CeeDee Lamb, who tore the Niners apart today. The problem is Ayuk doesn't get the opportunity CeeDee Lamb gets. They both are playing with backup quarterbacks. CeeDee Lamb gets to return punts. Brandon Ayuk does not. CeeDee Lamb had a nice punt return. CeeDee Lamb plays on special teams, recovered the onside kick, returned it for a touchdown. That was a nice play too. He's allowed to make winning plays on special teams and help Dallas. It's a big reason why they won. If you win special teams, it helps. The Niners, they won't let Brandon Ayuk do that. So what they have is special teams that stink. At best, the best thing that happens on a punt return for the 49ers is a fair catch. There was one fair catch from Trent Taylor today where he ran away from the ball and it got down to the 2. Even when he doesn't catch the ball, he can mess it up. If the Niners had let Brandon Ayuk return all the punts this season, they might have more wins. He breaks like 2 tackles every time he catches the ball. Give him the ball. You're afraid of him getting hurt when everyone else gets hurt doing everything else. You've had injuries, kick returns, every single aspect of football this year except for punt returns. That is the one action of football this season that has not led to injury on your team, and hey, that's too dangerous, man. No, playing wide receiver is dangerous. Returning punts is really not that dangerous. In the grand scheme of football, let him do it. You're hurting your team, Kyle, by not letting Brandon Ayuk do what he does. Don't protect Brandon Ayuk. Do what's best for the team. Let him return the punts. Mike McCarthy is a verstunkene head coach, as my dad would say. Verstunkene. And if you don't know what verstunkene means, look it up. He knows to put CeeDee Lamb at punt returner. Do you have to be a genius to not figure out to put your best player at punt returner? Come on, Kyle. Let Brandon Ayuk win some games for you. Let him do it. He's begging to do it. Let him do it. All right. I think it's time. I think it's time to talk about Nick Mullins. Let's talk about Nick Mullins. All right. What we've learned about Nick Mullins is that he is not a starting caliber quarterback yet. All right. He's had 16 starts in the NFL now. He is 5-11 as a starter. Not good enough. He's thrown for 4,300 yards, maybe 4,400 yards. That's impressive for basically a rookie and a backup. Not good enough. He's thrown a lot of interceptions. He's turned the ball over a lot of times. And he went from being BDN to, I don't know, DN. He still could do it, but he hasn't proven it. And that's where he stands. Period. He shouldn't start next week. They should sit him down. He's worked very hard. He's gone through some tough situations. He's made it worse. And now he's hurt. Let CJ Beathard handle the rest of the season. Let CJ Beathard take the hits and the bruises and the bumps and be the crash test dummy. Let him be the guy that people want to run out of town for the next 2 weeks. It's CJ's turn. I think Nick still deserves a spot on this team. I don't fault him for really any of those turnovers today. I think he's been in a terrible situation. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's good. I think he's a backup quarterback who potentially could become a starter down the line and hasn't proven it and hasn't been able to prove it because he still hasn't been able to play a game with a healthy Mostert, a healthy Debo, and a healthy Kittle at the same time. Hasn't. And if the Niners get Zach Wilson, which they won't, or Justin Fields, or Trey Lance, or Kyle Trask, and he has to come to this team next year, and Kittle's out, and Debo has a pulled hamstring, and Mostert's hurt, and McGlinchey's at right tackle, that guy's going to struggle too. So I'm not letting Mullins off the hook. He hasn't shown enough. He should not start next week. He should not start next season. But I'm telling you, he is not the Niners' problem. He is Goodwill Hunting. He's a precocious janitor who stepped on the practice field and happened to be as good as the franchise guy. The problem is Jimmy Garoppolo, not good enough, not durable enough, not that much better than his backup. Mullins was always a condemnation on Jimmy. Now Jimmy's gone. Mullins will be third string next year, maybe second string. And they'll draft someone else. Maybe they'll sign someone too. And you won't have to worry about Nick Mullins anymore. I think your viewing experience of Nick Mullins is over. But the last thing I'm going to end right here. Before the game, Jack Hammer and I were comparing Nick Mullins to Jeff Garcia. Now, Jeff Garcia's career took off in Dallas against the Cowboys in that game where he threw 4 touchdown passes, a couple to Terrell Owens, and he spiked the ball on the star. Well, I think Jack and I were kind of toying with the idea that maybe this was going to be Nick Mullins' coming out game against Dallas the way it was for Jeff Garcia. There's some symmetry there. They're kind of similar. They're both undrafted free agents who are a little bit shorter in stature and aren't the prettiest in the way they play, but they're scrappy. They're competitors. Well, it didn't happen for Nick Mullins. And there's 2 ways you can look at it. One, he ain't Jeff Garcia. It's probably the case. Jeff Garcia was pretty special. 2, Nick Mullins still 25. Jeff Garcia was 30 by the time that he made his move. Maybe this is just the Nick Mullins, the Canadian Football League era for Nick Mullins, the way it was for Jeff Garcia. He was in the CFL at this point in his career. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for Nick. All I know, 25-year-old guy with 16 career starts, thrown for about 4,400 yards. I think it's the most yards a Niners quarterback has ever thrown for, ever, in the history of the franchise. Commits too many turnovers, needs to sit on the bench the rest of the season. But Nick, I don't hate you. I actually really respect what you've done, how you've gotten this far in your life. I mean, you created yourself a career in the NFL. These people that hate on you are so jealous of you because they look at you and see themselves and say, I wish I could have done that. You did it. You willed yourself in the NFL. You've played more than you probably were ready to play. Threw for 4,400 yards. You've gotten yourself pretty much benched now. But what I want to say is respect. I really respect what you've gone through. You took about 100 hits this year, and you're littler than me. You got up every single time. Respect. Really. Good going. And I hope, I just feel like Jimmy should have taken some of these hits. Jimmy took 12 hits this year and it was done. Last player who quit on this season. Was it Jimmy? I don't know. Might have been Jimmy. 12 hits, never came back. I don't know. At least Nick Mullins kept taking those hits. I respect that. A lot of times quarterbacks at the end of the year, final point, Coach Johnson said this on Twitter, and he's great. A lot of times quarterbacks give their offensive linemen gifts for Christmas. Rolex, maybe a scooter, a couch, a steak dinner. I'm thinking the Niners offensive lineman should get Nick Mullins a present, maybe a Tempur-Pedic mattress, maybe a complimentary massage, maybe a lifetime supply of Advil, aspirin. I think they owe him some type of a gift with like a sorry, Nick, for getting you killed. We still like you. Can we still be friends? Yes or no? That's all I'm saying. So I know that you guys have no sympathy for Nick. It's not my job to have sympathy for Nick. I think the Niners offensive lineman at the very least, Mike McGlinchey, Send him a get well soon card. A card. Go to Long's Drugs. You know what I'm saying? Pick out one of those cards, but not one that has the pre-written address in there. Write something yourself. Nick, sorry I don't block anymore. Love, Mike. I can be fair. He would appreciate it. It's the thought that counts. Please stop calling Shanahan a genius. Your record tells who you are. He is a bum. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. Here's the new rule. He is no longer a genius until he's at 500. He's now 28-34. He's going to be 28-36. When he gets to 500, he can be a genius again. I'm not saying put him on the hot seat. I'm saying he has been stripped of his genius title. He's no longer a genius. Suspended genius. Genius in waiting. Guys, I'm going to go hang out with my beautiful wife. I miss her. Thank you so much for watching. And I will be back tomorrow morning with Vish. And then tomorrow afternoon, I will have a special guest. Stay tuned. Not going to tell you who it is.